morning, YouTube. Skipper T here. Today we're going to be reviewing the Samick Sage recurve, takedown recurve bow. What makes this the takedown are these two big pins right here. They're screws. You unscrew each of these, the limb will come off of this. Compacts down into about 19 inches, easy to put in a pack, easy to carry around with you. Very lightweight, very nice bow. From what I can tell, they're made in Korea. Very nice, very strong bow. The nice thing about it is you can adjust the tension or the poundage with swapping out the different limbs that are on here. This one is configured in the 40-pound minimum for hunting in the state that I live in. But as you can tell, this is a very nice bow. The wood on it is absolutely beautiful. In this one, I'm shooting traditionally. I've got a bear's hair set up here on the rest with a little, with the leather keeper right here. I did have these finger savers put on it as opposed to a brass knock when I first got the bow. I'm not convinced I'm going to keep these on here. When this top one compresses around your finger when you draw back, it tends to tear up the inside of my finger over here, so I may be moving to something a little bit different. I did pick up a finger tab. This is the Black Widow. I got this one from Three Rivers Archery. It seems to be a pretty nice tab. Put it on like that. It's got a couple of spots where your bow or where the arrow will fit through it, so that you can see that. I'm just demonstrating on the string itself. Then you're able to just pull back, release, should take and let go. Yeah, your fingers go over the edge a little bit, but when you flex them down and around, it tends to cover everything. I'm going to give that a shot. I do have a three-fingered archery glove that goes with it. Today I've got a target set up about 15 yards down range. We'll go ahead and shoot a few rounds, see how that works out for us today. But again, this is the Samick Sage 62-inch takedown recurve bow. This is just the standard string that came with it. Put a couple of string quieters, dampeners on it. Looks like I've lost one off the other end. Hopefully that's in the house somewhere. You can see the remnant of the thread there. I may have to go back in and check that out. But these are really kind of nice, and they do quiet down the bow. The bridge height on this is anywhere from about 7.5 to 8.5 inches. I've measured it all out, and when my thumb's up here like this, I'm usually at about 7.5 inches. It's looking really good, actually. It feels good. It's comfortable to shoot. I'll spin the camera around here. Got my little table set up. And let's see. And there's my target down range. On that particular target, what we've got here, it's about 15 yards out, exaggerated footsteps. It is the Shot Blocker by Delta Mackenzie. It's 17 inches tall, 16 inches wide, and about 10 inches deep. I've got it set up on a tripod that I use over the fire to, get everything squared away when we're out camping and such. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that a little bit. All right, I am going to try this new Black Widow tab and see if I can release with the finger savers that are on there. Just kind of in general, see how this thing works out and see if it works good or bad or whatever the case may be here. Okay, it's a little different. That does make for a different kind of release. I'm not really accustomed to that. Not even sure I'm holding it correctly. Let's try that again. Looking pretty good so far. One square miss for sure. Not so sure about the tab. But I do admit, when I pull back, it is a lot more comfortable across the fingers. Now we'll just have to see how that works out in general. Go see if I can find that other arrow quick. Okay, and just in case you guys are curious, we are shooting a 100 grain steel tip. These are gold tip Hunter Series traditional arrows. It's got the 4-inch feather fletching on it, which is very nice. 2 browns and a black, so that you always know where your cock feather is versus the hen feathers that are on there. It's got a 500 spine weight on it, so that's pretty good for the 40-pound recurve that's out there. The other thing that I really like about these is they've got a wood grain finish, which kind of gives it that traditional look, so that when you're out there shooting and having fun, you know, this kind of just goes with the recurve. I did have them cut down to 30 inches before I had the inserts put on them. With my draw at about 28 and a half inches, tends to put it right where I want it to be when I get back to the anchor point. And also then if I put a broadhead on here for going and hunting, I'm not worried about it contacting my hands or the back side of the bow over there. So let's see if we can launch a few more of these down towards the target. We'll zoom in, see what we can come up with here. I don't know, I'm starting to like this tab a little bit here. This is the first time I've ever used it, so you guys are getting to see the first shot. Again, this is the Black Widow split finger tab that I got from 3 Rivers Archery. Oop, that was a little low. Alright guys, still shooting at 15 yards, but I've moved the camera up to within about, I don't know, 15 feet of the target itself, and then that way you can see the arrows come in and hit it. Yay, all 6 of them actually in the target, not out in the grass. Having to track them down. Doing all manner of weird stuff out here. I have to admit, I do like shooting the elevated target here. It's a little high for what you'd be aiming at for a deer. I could probably lower that and get that a little closer into the vitals range of a deer, but for today's purposes, I'll leave it just where it is. Alright, we had one kind of shoot off and miss the target. It's out there in the grass a little bit. Part of the problem is I'm using this new finger tab that I was mentioning earlier, and basically it sits over top of the arrow, and it's got these 2 little folds that are supposed to be finger savers out here. Well, when it sits over your arrow and you go to pull it back on the string, sometimes it interferes, and I think until I figure this out and get this broke in a little bit, I think what's happened is that arrow, somehow it got caught up, didn't release cleanly, kicked the tail of the arrow out, and made it fly off into an errant direction. But we'll keep practicing with it and see how it turns out. Okay, now hopefully you'll be able to see me shoot and the arrows go down range to the target itself. So we'll get this loaded up here. We'll see what happens. I really like this bow. It's a smooth shooting bow. I'm brand spanking new into archery, so I really don't have any basis of comparison, but I am really liking this. Starting to get a little more comfortable with the tab, and I'm starting to like that. I think I may take those finger savers off. I think I'm hitting my jacket a little bit here. That sounded better without the jacket slap on it. Might be the technique in the way that I'm holding my arm too. Missed the target, but got one of the legs of the tripod. Let's go down and take a look. All right, kids. Don't let anybody kid you. These recurve bows are powerful. I'm gonna zoom in and I'll tilt it a little forward. You notice there on the left side, try and spin that around just a touch. That arrow missed the target, hit the leg. That's about 1.5 inches in diameter. And sure enough, split right through it. Appears to be sticking out about 2 to 3 inches on the other side as well. So yeah, these are powerful bows. They'll definitely hunt. They'll do anything you need them to do. Pinch the finger. Yeah, I'm gonna have a nice little blood blister on that one. Silly human. Pinched my thumb right there when those two slats came back together on that. Hurts like the dickens. All right, kids, we're getting a little low on battery, but this is the Samick Sage. This will be part 1. I'm gonna shoot a night video on this tonight with those illuminated knocks on there. That should prove to be fairly interesting. Let's see if we can put a few more in there right quick before the old battery dies. The other thing I am going to say on my bow, from Three Rivers Archery, I got this leather grip, self-adhesive on one side. I cut it to fit down inside. Puckers up just a little bit here on the curve, but overall, that really adds a lot of padding and smoothness to the inside of your thumb where all the weight's listed on your, or rested rather, when you're in your shooting position. Really works out well. It was like $3, maybe $4, worth every penny. Missed that one cleanly. My hands are starting to shake. I've had my bow about 2 months now, and I shoot about every other week. So we're still building up the strength to do this. And that's it, guys. That's all we're gonna do for today's shooting. Stay with me, I'll film a part 2. We'll do that at night so that you can see the illuminated knocks in action. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.